Warning, there may be explicit language in today's episode. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is another big show we have. Alex, I feel like this is like a quarter tradition. We do something big every
yeah, pretty much
six months. But current Saskatchewan RoughRiders quarterback, and I had to when I was doing the graphic, I was trying to see if I can get it right, because I remember what Coach Miller told me. I was like, fingers crossed that I got it right. So then I put it on, and then I look it up, and I go, oh, I got it right. And also Edinboro great, holds every virtual passing record at Edinboro. Quarterback Trevor Harris. Trevor, thanks for coming on the show. This is awesome.
Mike, Alex, good to be on with you guys, man. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so like I told you, I'll start off by reading the bio, and then we'll rock and roll into some questions.
Do it.
So, like I said, holds virtually every Edinboro passing and total offense record while playing quarterback at Edinboro from 2006 to 2009. He was named the 2009-2010 Sox Harrison Award winner after leading Edinboro to a 31-15 record in his 4 seasons as the starter. He was a 2-time Harlan Hill Trophy finalist 2008 and 2009, and a 3-time Harlan Hill Trophy Northeast Region finalist 2007 through 2009. Harris was a 2-time Football Gazette and D2Football.com honorable mention All-American, earning the honors as a junior and senior. He also was a 4-time All-PSAC West selection, earning first-team accolades his first 3 years. He was the PSAC West Offense Player of the Year in 2007 and 2008, and was the PSAC West Rookie of the Year in 2006. Harris still holds Edinboro's career records for passing yards at 11,899, with 1,464 attempts, with 966 completions, and 100 touchdown passes, and a total offense 12,691. In the season records, he holds 4 of the top 6 figures in passing yards and total offense. Harris has gone on a very successful professional career. He signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars of the NFL in 2010, and after spending time in the Arena Football League, signed to play in the Canadian Football League in Toronto in 2012. He would play with the Argonauts through the 2015 season, and then signed as a free agent with Ottawa in 2016 before joining Edmonton in 2019. He won the Grey Cup in 2012 with Toronto, and like I said, currently on the Saskatchewan RoughRiders. That was a lot. Yeah, that was a lot. But all right, first question, and Alex knows this question. What is your opinion on the Penn West name change with Edinboro?
Yeah. Oh man, I just prefer Edinboro. People ask me where I go to school. I promise you, till the day I die, I will not say Penn West. I'm gonna say I went to the borough.
Never once. It'll always be the borough.
Always.
Well, here's actually a fun fact before we get to the first football question. So Alex and I are graduating this May, and we're actually the last class to have Edinboro University on our degrees. So there we go.
We got
You guys gotta frame those things, man.
Yeah. But Alex, I believe you got the first question.
Yeah. So this is actually one that I feel like we haven't asked very often, but this is one that I like. So obviously you went to Borough from 06 to 09. And at that point, I mean, it's changed greatly over the past year or two. But at that point, the recruiting process and just the way that it worked was very different compared to the way it is nowadays with NIL and all that. So what was the recruiting process for you whenever you were coming into the Borough?
Yeah, I honestly wasn't heavily recruited. it was more or less just a few D2 schools and then a couple D2 schools that said I wasn't good enough to play for them. And it came down to Bemidji State out of Minnesota and Edinboro.
Okay.
And true story is I left Edinboro and my mom was like, "What'd you think?" And I said, "That's the only school I'm certain I'm not going to." And
Wow.
we kind of got in the car and we drove away and we kind of just got to talking. And I had a good visit. It was Lou Tepper was the coach at the time. Scott Browning was there. And I got to meet, Justin Bouch, legend, and, a lot of the guys that had played there. And what it comes down to in life in general, to me, something I've learned just through the years, and nothing is more true than my time at Edinboro. It's not about what's around you in terms of life. It's who's around you. And the people you surround yourself with are truly what makes life livable and what makes life fun. And it makes it more memorable in terms of, the memories you make, the things you do. It's who you hang out with. You could be in New York City around people you don't enjoy. But if you're in Edinboro, the people there are amazing. And that's something I always tell people: you will never be let down by the people there.
Zero doubt about that, man. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, best example of that, anybody watching, well, let's just say Tailgate Talks wouldn't be a thing if that wasn't the case.
Yeah, and I mean, Mike and I have said this, and all of our friends have said it many times. We're all ready to graduate. We're all ready to get our degrees and move on with life, but none of us are really ready to leave the borough yet. It's just a place that it's nice to be. You enjoy your time there.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of guys, a lot of people that played before me and even after me have stayed around the borough, and it's fun. It's a good place to be. Small town, safe place. I remember when I got there, we had forgot to lock my car, and they were like, "Oh, your car will be fine here," and
Yeah,
it was just
no doubt.
comforting to hear that sort of situation. Not that I'm advocating don't ever lock your car, but it was just comforting to hear that's the kind of people that are in the borough.
No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. But Alex, I believe you got the next question again.
Yeah. So, as Mike said in your bio, you essentially hold every passing and total offensive record at the borough, earned numerous awards, including being a two-time Harlan Hill Trophy finalist. When you look back at the accomplishments, from throughout your years there, what do they mean to you? How did you stay motivated to perform at such a high level year after year? Especially, like you said, you weren't a highly recruited guy. So how did that contribute to that as well?
It's funny because back, during college time, you always never really worry about stats, but you always looked at them, and it was really cool to see. But I don't remember anything of my stats. I remember the guys. I remember my teammates.
Yeah.
I remember, the tough practices, the practices where you'd fight against the defense and say you were killing them and they were killing you. Like it was the sharpening of each other, as it says in Proverbs, as iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. It's those moments that I remember. I don't remember, like, I don't think anybody does. Nobody goes to bed at night going like, man, Trevor Harris threw for a lot of yards at Edinboro. Who cares? It's about the relationships you form.
For sure.
It's about the people that you're around and the memories you make, and really just the kind of impact that you have on people. I talk a lot about, like, whatever you're going through in life, what's significant about it is who you're becoming in the process and the impact you have on others. And so the entire time at Edinboro, it's really cool to hear those things, because honestly, I'd forgotten about a lot of them. But what really does stick with me is who I became in the process at Edinboro and the impact that I was able to have on my teammates and the impact they were able to have on me.
It's one of the best answers we've gotten from those type of questions, not even going to lie.
Yeah, there you go. There we go. But yeah, so closing out your time at Edinboro, of course, when you're a senior, like, everybody asks you after, like, oh, what was your proudest moment? What was your proudest moment? So that's exactly what I'm about to ask you right now. So looking back at your time at Edinboro, if you had to pick one specific moment out of your entire career at Edinboro that was your proudest moment, what would that be?
I kind of have two answers. There's one on the field and one off the field. So excuse me for giving two answers. The one on the field is pounding Slippery Rock at their place on their homecoming. Yeah. And I hope people from Slippery Rock are listening. They beat them 35-7. And, I remember looking at their schedule and seeing it was their homecoming. And going into the game, I remember Browning telling us, guys, we're walking into a hornet's nest. And after he said that, I stopped and I said, Coach, with all due respect, I think we're the hornet's nest walking to them. And, he was like, well, I'm glad. And that was just a really like fun game to play, because that's a game that I hate. I don't like the rock. You carry around the rock in your pocket, and that one, and then beating IUP at home on a last touchdown. We scored on, I think, last drive of the game, and kind of threw an under route to Josh Brown or Gary Nolan, and they took it to the house, and we were able to kind of seal the win there. But off the field was my roommate Jeremy Appel, who was a tremendous defensive lineman for us, and he came in his first year as a true freshman, and he was a video coordinator because they didn't have a spot on the roster for him. And there were so many times where he was like, Trev, it's just not worth it, man. They're not going to let me play. They're not going to let me play. And the times where I would talk to Jer about how hard he's worked and the things he's done that led up to this moment, is I was like, why would you quit now? You didn't come to this point just to stop here. And watching him persevere, and him and I kind of stick side by side. He's still one of my best friends to this day. I would force him to get up with me at 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays. And every single Saturday he made it. He came every week. He didn't want to go. He's like, Trevor, I don't want to go, and I want to punch you in the face, but I'm going to come. And he came with me. And it turns out Jeremy Appel, he got snubbed to being an all PSAC defensive end because he had like 78 tackles as a defensive end. He had like 9 sacks. He was a tremendous defensive end. He had an awesome year. He got snubbed as all PSAC guy. But I just think back to all the times where he was like, Trevor, it's just not worth it. I should just quit. And the dude stuck it out, and he grinded every single day. And to just see him end up being a 3-year starter, they just kept trying to replace him every year. And every year he just came back and just kept chopping wood, carry water every single time. And it was just awesome. He kind of just, I think there's basically he was just able to surrender the outcome, not worry about what the outcome was going to be, just focus on the process every day. And through that, he ended up being a 3-year starter and should have been an all PSAC defensive end for us.
It's unreal. And you know what? I feel for him. I never played here at the Borough, but the past year I've spent a lot of time working as basically the second video coordinator for the team. We have our D-line coach is the actual video coordinator, but I was doing a lot of that work with him. So it's tough work. It
is. I mean, it's a life lesson in general, because
it is.
You have a crossroads in a lot of times in life, and you can choose to see your circumstance as a calamity or an incredible opportunity. It's just about how do you see it, reframe things from a calamity to this is an opportunity to do X, Y, or Z. And, he was able to kind of reframe that. And like I said, there's a lot of things that he helped me get through, but, you can help others get through those times by being there for them and sticking by them as well.
No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. But all right. So now moving on to the Canadian Football League, and obviously anybody that watches this show, we talk about the CFL actually on this show too, with of course whatever's going on with the Grey Cup and all that. So you are the current quarterback for the Saskatchewan RoughRiders. So talk about your time so far in the Canadian Football League and the time you're having right now on the RoughRiders. And also, is there any advice you would give to people that are, they're getting recruited to college, but they're also looking to play at the next level, even after college?
Sure. Time in the CFL has been tremendous. And it's just no different than when I was at Edinboro. I had tremendous teammates around me, tremendous coaches, and God has been really good. I'm an avid faith man, believer in Jesus Christ, and my faith is the most important thing in my life. And I really believe He's directed my steps because I hated football as a freshman in high school, and I ended up playing in college. And I just remember thinking, like, if I could just play 2 years to build my resume to be a coach, that would be all I'd need. And I'm going into year 16 as a professional athlete, and that's all praise and honor and glory to Jesus Christ. And I'm just really thankful of the lessons that I've been able to learn, but more importantly, like I said earlier, who I've become in the process. And now I'm in Saskatchewan. Our general manager, as you guys probably know, Jeremy O'Day, another Borough guy.
Yep.
I didn't remember the last part of the question you asked me there.
What advice would you give to anybody that's getting recruited to college and they're looking at to potentially play at the next level?
At Edinboro, especially, to me, the thing I tell people all the time about if you're going to go to a non-Power 5 school, if you're going to Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, any of those schools like Texas, you're going to get all the exposure you need. But if you go to Edinboro, if you play well enough, they will find you. And I always made it a point to never let the Division II label define my work ethic. And I think that's probably the most important thing that you can possibly do in life, is not to let your circumstance or where you are define any attributes you have. So whatever it is, your work ethic, the way you treat other people, just being present right in the moment, as opposed to asking yourself what's going to be next or what you'd be doing if you were at this. Just be there. Do not let any of the facilities, don't let any moment define anything about you. Let your work ethic and the way you go about your process, your attitude and your effort define who you are every day. And so no matter what school you're at, never let your circumstance or your school define anything of that nature.
Yeah, absolutely. And just because this is also like I just thought of this just a second ago. Obviously, there are rules that are different in Canadian Football League that are different from like the football from either college or the NFL and stuff. Was that a little bit? Was there any difficulty with the transition of rules, or was it still, hey, I'm playing football, like nothing changes, work hard and all that?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit of both. Because I remember it was maybe my third possession of a preseason game. We had second down because it's 3-down football up there. You punt on third down, and we didn't convert a second down. And coach was like, punt it. And they came over the intercom and said, punt it. And I was like, dang, he must be really pissed at me. And I was like, we're punting on third down. And I was like, what are we doing? And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. And, you've got the singles. I'll tell you a rule that I cannot stand to this day in the CFL is if you miss a field goal and it goes out of the back of the end zone, it's a touchback and you get a single point for it.
Yeah.
I've lost 2 games on that. One of them cost us a shot to this year. It cost us a shot to compete to win the West and get a home playoff game in the West Final in Saskatchewan. And then in 2022, we lost on a 50-yard field goal that ended up bouncing out of the back of the end zone. That if we would have won that game, we would have won the East. And so it's cost me a first round bye in the playoffs both times. And so it's one of those rules that I don't like. But the rules up there are awesome. I tell you, as a quarterback, it's really pretty cool because 3-down football, you're going to throw the ball a lot more. If you started every possession at 2nd and 10, essentially, for what you guys know as, you'd be a lot more throwing, and that's pretty entertaining as well.
It definitely is. I mean, we did a live stream this year where we were just commentating over the Grey Cup, and sometimes it's just completely like bombs away, and it gets crazy at points. It's pretty awesome to watch.
Yeah, you guys got to commentate a Saskatchewan game this year.
Oh, absolutely!
So awesome.
Absolutely.
Or scoot on up to Hamilton, man. It's about 2 hours up. Come on up. I'll get you all some tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, I will take that offer. But no, it was funny. I do remember because you did mention the we're punting on third down. I will admit I believe it was the semifinal game before the Grey Cup I was watching this year at my house with my dad, and then I also forgot about the downs too. So I was like, "Why are they punting?" And then my dad looks at me like, "Really, dude? Like, pay attention." I'm like, and I go, "Oh yeah, that's right. They do have to. It's only
it takes a minute sometimes."
Yeah.
Yeah. So Alex, I believe you got the next 2 questions before rapid fire.
Yeah. Also, I just wanted to call back to this really quick because I found the timing of it really interesting. You were talking about how like not letting like the D2 label like define your work ethic and everything like that, and you said the line like they'll find you if you work hard. It's really funny because I just saw a video on Instagram either today or yesterday of like this D3 offensive lineman, and he just like straight up like wet paper bagged this Georgia defensive lineman, like completely just put him in a box, shut him down. And literally the caption of it was like, if you can play, they'll find you. It was that timing is really funny that you said that way, because that's like exactly what I saw, but it's true. Game recognizes game. Coaches will see that.
Yeah. And it's honestly just one day at a time, one play at a time. And if you if you stand out and you work hard and get better and do what you need to do, they end up finding you somehow. And
Always.
it's more or less just having a persistence attitude and not giving up.
No doubt. All right, so we had on Coach Mike Miller. We tried to do it twice, but the Microsoft Teams is not very cooperative. Family friend of Mike's, and a couple of years ago, he talked about the difference with the NFL and the CFL. So I want to see this from your perspective. Say, I'm just like a casual football fan, never seen a snap of Canadian football. What are you going to say to sell the CFL to someone who's never watched it before?
Okay, I will say this. If you're in the NFL, special teams plays are typically plays where you go get a drink or go to the restroom because it's uneventful. Punts are typically going to be fair caught. Kickoffs are typically going to be touchbacks, and extra points, field goals. I don't want to talk bad. It's not typically the most exciting play. In the CFL, the kickoffs are way further back. Rarely are there touchbacks, and you would lose a point. The other team would get a single point if it's a touchback. Punts, there's a 5-yard halo rule where it has to be returned. There's no fair catches, and you can actually do onside punts. We still have onside kicks. You don't have to wait till the fourth quarter to declare. And field goals, if you miss, they can be returned. And so it's every play is meaningful. And on top of that, if you're one of those people, you just like to see the ball thrown around a lot and you like big hits, it's a great league for that. And there's never, and it's a very fast-paced game because 2 and out, the other team's getting the ball. And special teams plays are gigantic. And the fact that it's 3-down football instead of 4, special teams make up for a little bit more of the game, a little bit bigger piece of the pie. But there's still great offenses. There's some very recognizable names that almost everybody, if you're a college football fan, would probably notice. And I would say that, it's not far off skill-wise from the NFL. We just don't have the mutant aliens. We don't have Myles Garrett, Julio Jones in his prime. We don't have Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Mahomes. We don't have those guys. But for the most part, the dudes can really play in this league.
Not many of those mutants, but I do believe the CFL did get to claim Sean Oakman at one point. I'm not sure if he's still on a roster or not, but you want to talk about a mutant alien of a player physically.
Yeah, he was up. He's big. Yeah, I think he still played last year.
Yeah,
he was on Edmonton last year, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
People love him because of that picture from Baylor. Right?
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, what was it like? What you gonna call heads or tails? He said, "We'll take the ball." There's something like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Go
yes,
ahead.
sir.
Just salutes him, just like
Yeah.
But Alex, I believe you have the last question before we.
Last question before we get to the rapid fire ones. So I know that you kind of already reflected on this and said, no one's going to bed, thinking about how many yards you threw for at Edinboro or anything like that. But do like to ask, just because it's a good question to ask to wrap up, just for your own personal thoughts, what do you want from your entire career, from Edinboro to your entire journey through the CFL and everything? What do you want to be like your legacy? What's the big mark that you want to leave on this journey that you've gone along the path for so long now?
Yeah, these are things that when I retire and I do a post for a social media post for my retirement. These are the things that'll get me choked up. Is you don't really get to choose how you're remembered, but I hope that my teammates would say that I loved my teammates, that I worked harder than anybody, and that I never left any stone unturned. That I did my very best always, no matter what. And if those 3 things are said about me, then I can consider myself a very, very lucky man. Because those are things that I really do take pride in. Is I want to make sure that I'm working very, very hard. I want to make sure that I turn over every stone that I possibly can. And I want my teammates to know that I do really love them. And if that happens, then I'd be happy. Aside from obviously being recognized for my faith, because like I said, first and foremost, my faith in Jesus Christ is first and foremost for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But all right. So for clarification, Trevor, this is our favorite segment on the show when we have athletes on that go here. So I'm not going to ask you this question, but I'm going to tell you what we normally do. So
Okay.
what we like to do is we have a blindside question, and blindside. So I want to get your reaction for it. It's favorite Edinboro football player that's not yourself is what we ask everybody. Catches everybody off guard every time.
You guys know my answer is going to be
Everybody.
Cody Harris.
Cody. Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, that's probably. I was gonna say. I told Alex. I was like, he's just like because there's a guy that goes here. His name's CJ Walder. He also played with his brother Tristan. And going in, I was like, oh, I hope we get him. I hope we get him. And then I forgot his brother was on the team. I was like, oh, he's gonna say his brother.
Yeah,
like
now,
come on, who else?
It's awesome to see how every athlete we've had on is such a good sport about it, because we've done, I mean, how many athlete spotlights have we done at this point? 20, 30?
Yeah, I've lost count.
Like we've done so many of them. They're on the internet. Like we ask the same blindside question to every athlete every single time we do one. Not a single one has gone on YouTube and looked at what it is before they did their interview.
Yeah.
Like they all want to be surprised by it.
Now, man, like as you guys have talked about this, like I do have some other favorite teammates like they come to mind. You know, Richie Serro. You know, I loved playing Mike Fazio, Eric Costello, Jeremy Appel, my roommate. I had tons of guys that were just like absolute dogs, man. They were just such fun teammates to have because they had so much fun and they worked their ever living butts off. And they loved football. Mike Enoch. I mean, those guys were just, they were always so fun to be around. And that the senior class before I left, Rabicki, Rich, Serro, Burr, you know, all those guys, Spud. I really did miss those guys a lot because they were really kind of the heartbeat of the team. And they were the guys that like were right above me when I came in, and I looked up to them to a certain degree. And to me, to this day, I think that was the best Edinboro team that's been assembled was the 08 team that didn't get in the playoffs. We went 9-2. I think if we got in, we would have made it to the Final Four, though.
Yeah, it's dirty at 9-2.
Personal opinion, but.
But yeah, so for rapid fire, it's going to be six basic questions to get the listeners to know about a little bit about you, and then more so football related questions. So here we go. Favorite sport to watch other than football?
Basketball.
Okay.
Favorite sport to play other than football?
Basketball. Basketball was my first love.
Oh, big hooper.
So now that you say that, Jordan or LeBron?
Stop it. I know you guys are LeBron guys because you guys are younger, but it's Jordan.
No, I'm a Jordan guy through and through.
I watched,
guys, man.
I watched The Last Dance. You can't.
Yeah, how can you not be a Jordan guy?
But all right.
Not to mention I like his shoes better.
Yeah,
so.
Me too.
Anybody ever said that they got their LeBron stolen?
Nope.
No. That's so funny.
No. All right, next one. Pepsi or Coke?
I haven't drank pop for probably 15 years, but I probably ice cold Coke, man. Nothing like it.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go. Favorite food?
Steak.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
If I had to pick a cut of steak, ribeye steak.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Favorite TV show of all time?
Favorite TV show? Is it like binge, Netflix binge? Probably Breaking Bad.
Oh, great show.
I don't advocate that. This is probably a past life. I probably shouldn't say that's a terrible show to watch if you're trying to be a good person. So, but it is wildly.
That's a fair point.
But Ozark also was a ride. That was a roller coaster.
Yeah, that show's
ride,
intense.
Man.
That's a good show.
Man, yeah, some good ones.
Favorite movie of all time?
Man, I don't know if I go football here or Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys 2 is a really good one.
Oh.
There we go. Go-to pregame song?
I'm a gospel and instrumental person. So if I'm listening to music, it's rather gospel music or music without words. I just listen to the beat of songs because I really don't think rap music or pop music, the lyrics are too inspiring, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Favorite quarterback growing up?
Peyton Manning, the Sheriff.
Here we go. Favorite thing about the Canadian Football League?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't want to go with the layup and say like, oh, my teammates, like, like I'm trying to give you guys something good here. I would say that it's 3 downs that you just get, that it ends up being more passing. It's more of a passing league because of that.
Yeah.
Funniest teammate?
Funniest teammate. Oh man. Brad Sinopoli. Long time ago, my time in Ottawa. Absolutely hilarious.
Here we go.
Love that.
One thing from Edinboro that you miss that is not football related?
Me and my roommate used to go to Sheets all the time, and we would we would crush the chicken salad with honey mustard. And every time I see a Sheets to this day, I think about that. But yeah, Sheets, honey mustard, and I always used to love the calf too. The cafeteria, it was just eating at the calf every day. Miss that a lot too.
Trevor, you'll be happy to know we still live at the Cheats up in the borough.
Yeah.
Try the chicken salad with some honey mustard. It won't let you down.
That sounds fire.
It might not sound great, but it's good.
All right, last one from for the rapid fire part. Excuse me. Favorite moment from your entire football career?
It's hard to say. Not say winning Grey Cup championships. But aside from the Slippery Rock game, beating Slippery Rock 35-7, I would say my senior year when we beat Slippery Rock at home, I hit Josh Brown on a post corner to beat him, and it was a night game. It was one of the first night games at Sox Harris in a long time, and it was one of the first, not the first. But Josh Brown catching that game-winning touchdown against Slippery Rock in my senior year.
Yeah, Alex, that was probably the last time they went under the lights before the East Stroudsburg game.
Yeah.
Honest to God, yeah, it's been a while since we got the privilege to play under the lights.
Maybe one better was when we all sat together at Coach Browning's house for the announcement of if we got in the playoffs, because we were a bubble team to get in the playoffs for a senior year, and we all sat there and we watched it and we got in. And it was just one of those moments where like we all were just elated and like gives you chills thinking about it. That when they kind of just, it's almost like the bubble watch when you're in March Madness and they reveal it and they show the team going on. Like just getting to live that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, that's sweet. Probably like a lot of nerves too, just like waiting, anticipating it.
Because we didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but all right. So last question before we let you go. We like to ask this question. It actually is a question to relieve the stress of the blind side, but I feel like it's also an important question in terms of honestly life, and that is 3 things that you are grateful for.
3 things I'm grateful for. First, that God had the best idea of all time to send His Son to die on the cross for our sins, and give us a chance at eternal life. Just for this time, I'm grateful for you guys inviting me on, and the connection, the Borough connection of you guys and people that have meant so much to me at the Borough, like Coach Browning, Coach Henson, Sandy Everhart, who I'm sure you guys know, one of my favorite people in the world to this day. And I'm thankful for my beautiful wife and 3 boys, and my 4th child is going to be here in about 5 weeks. So
awesome! There we go. Congratulations.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks. It's I don't know what we're gonna do this 4th one. It's a lot. We got a lot of kids. People ask me how many kids I have now. I just say a lot.
A lot. Man, but yeah, Trevor, thanks for coming on the show. This was fun, and once again, congratulations on all your success, and good luck for your next season with the RoughRiders.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yes,
No problem, man.
Yep. So, Alex, go ahead and send it.
Good night, America.